I'll pull this up. We do have something special for our mothers. Oh, we got to do an offering. I forgot that again. Brother Russ is here. We'll do our Mother's Day thing in just a minute. Go ahead, Brother Russ. Why don't you pray for us? Amen. So we did something a little different this year for our mothers. My wife's been working on it for a week or two now. Of course, us men, we didn't do anything about it till the last minute. And what she did, and ladies, you may not know this, she has contacted your husbands to get a hold of your children. And we have some. We don't have, I'm not sure if we got everybody. I'm just going by what my wife sent me. So hopefully we'll have it. But what she did, she asked for your children to send a little message that we could tell or read to you this morning. And so that's what we're going to do. Jackson. All right. So we'll get on with it this morning. We thought this might be a little more meaningful, instead of just a gift or a trinket from the church, something from your own children. Because I know my children did nothing for their mother for Mother's Day, so they were rapidly putting something together in the car on the way here. So we'll start with this. This is, again, I hope I got everybody. We'll find out. Miss Shannon, we got a message from Claire. And she said that you're so sweet and loves her kitties. Cats, not kids. The kittens, I guess. And then Cody said that she takes such good care of me. So those are from Claire and Cody. Miss Allie, Lexi said that she loves how her mom keeps trying. I don't know what that means, but I guess you're getting there. Keep at it. And Kagan said because he loves his mom because she gets him presents. So good job, Kagan. I agree that would be a good thing. Miss Angie, let's see. We've got one from Becky. My favorite thing about my mom is how unapologetically herself she is. She's witty, spontaneous, and never afraid to live boldly, no matter what anyone else thinks. And I don't know, when I think of Miss Angie, I don't think of living boldly, but apparently your daughter does. Is it the hair? Is that what it is? It's the hair. And we got one from Matt. It says, I definitely love how she's always thinking of others. Easter, Christmas, Valentine's Day, even her birthday, no matter what the occasion is, it's never about what she wants and always about what she can do for others. She has such a caring soul. I love her so much for that and for raising me to care about others. I think he wants a good gift at Christmas is what it sounds like. And then you have one from Joey, and Joey's a man of few words, how she always thinks of others first, and not nearly as talkative as your other two, apparently. So, and then let's see, I had two more. Actually, I have one more. I have two more. I never got one from one of my children. But for my wife, who's not here this morning, Maddie, said she loves how her mom guides us to God. And then Jackson said he loves his mom because she helps me when I'm sick. That's a good thing. Glad she helps you when you're sick. Apparently Lee does not love his mother. So don't send it to me now. It's too late now. You sent it to someone. Well, I sure don't have it. Well, somebody else knows how much you love your mother. But we are thankful for our mothers today. I'm glad you're all here. I know after church we're going to have a delicious meal. Brother Russ has been cooking. I did all my homemade cooking at the grocery store. So we're going to heat it up. We're going to have us a good meal today. Other than that, we don't have many announcements today. Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to add my brother and sister-in-law and then her mother to the prayer list.
Brother and sister-in-law.
Right, he's got the leukemia.
Okay.
And then her mother is just having a lot of problems, heart problems, arthritis, that kind of stuff. And just a lot of care.
I understand. It's a lot of health issues. Gotcha. I understand. There's definitely a lot to pray for. We need to be in prayer for our country still. There's still a war going on in our government, a fight. And really it comes down, but it's a fight between good and evil. If we think about it, it's not about rights, or it's not about freedoms, it's not about tariffs. It's a battle of good and evil. And we need to pray for our legislators that are trying to do the right thing. You say, well, I don't agree with everything they do, but we know God's in control, and we need to continue to pray for them. Anybody else special prayer requests today we need to pray about? Brother Nicky? So going for, gotcha. So, man going in for heart surgery, unsaved, so we need to pray for him. And sometimes that's what it takes to get your attention. Sometimes it takes God taking us down a few pegs to get us where we need to be. Did you just text me? I'm not gonna read it. Well, good for you. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
And also, we're not sure, and I sent a message to my cousin, Michael's wife, and I forgot to look at the phone this morning to see. I'm not sure if he's back in the hospital or not, but
We saw a post that made it appear that he's back in the hospital.
Gotcha. And this is the one that's had all kinds of. Gotcha.
I'll find out.
All right, so we've got several to pray for today with some serious health issues. So we pray for those. Anybody else this morning? All right, well, let's do this. Brother Nicky, would you mind praying for us this morning? And then Brother Joe, you can come on.
Amen. All right, little guys, Miss Auntie. You got all boys today. Good luck. Happy Mother's Day. Wild Wild West going to be downstairs. If we could just put a camera in there and just watch them, I think we'd have a great service. It'd be a comedy club. All right, if you want to turn to 1 Kings chapter 3. 1 Kings chapter 3. And we're going to start off in chapter 3, verse 16. I was thinking about today about mothers, and I even asked my wife, I said, everybody's done this mother, that mother in the Bible. We've done Mary, people have done, there's probably stories about every mother in the Bible being done today, right? And I was like, hun, I don't want to just do a normal Mother's Day, good old-fashioned. Let's just say, hey, let's talk about Mary and what she gone through and how good of a mother she is. And let's talk about this mother, And because I even thought about Noah's wife. Her name ain't mentioned in the Bible, right? We'll call it Miss Noah. I was thinking about that one. They never really say her name, but think about how good of a wife she had to be and a mother, because God called Noah to build an ark. If you quit your job and build an ark, what is your wife going to say to you? Don't say she said anything. Then, when it started sprinkling, he said, all right, we're getting up here and we're going to shut the doors, right? And the wife don't complain about it. You say we're going on a boat cruise, and you get up there and there's 10,000 animals, 2 of each kind, and you got to take care of them and your kids. And as a wife and a mother, if you tell your wife you're going on a cruise with that many animals and you got to take care of them, you might not be married much longer, And you don't hear her complain one time. You don't hear any, and you say, well, Bibles don't. Job's wife did. She told him to die. Because I thought about talking about bad moms, right? Because there's a lot of bad moms in the Bible. What not to be, And I was trying to think of, all right, let's talk about the good. Let's talk about the bad. Because even like Mary, right? Think about it today. If a girl got pregnant today out of the blue, right? and there's no father in it, what society? Oh, get abortion. Let's abort that baby. You know, I mean, and that's the way our society is today. But here's a situation in 1 Kings chapter 3 and verse 16. It says, then came two women that were harlots unto the king and stood before him. So these two women are the oldest profession in the world, prostitutes, pretty much. Right? And they're in front of the king, and they're about to tell the king what's going on. Right? And here's where the story takes a little bit. It says, the one woman said, "O my Lord, and this woman dwells in one house, and I had delivered of a child with her in the house." What she says is, me and this woman lived in the same house. She bare the child, I bare the child. They both bear two children. And I mean, you could keep reading down. I'm going to skip a few, but I'm going to tell you how it went. This is where the story I wanted to talk about, a good mother, right? Because you think about it, right? People always want to say how good moms are and everything, right? Oh, they're just above approach. This woman was a prostitute. She wasn't in the best area, right? You can be a good mom no matter where you're at. Right? You don't have to be the president's wife. You don't have to be the richest person to be a good mom. Right? This mom, right, basically in front of the king fighting for her child, because if we go down a little bit further, it said, right, and it said, and this woman's child died in the night because she overlaid it. And she arose at the midnight, and this is verse 20, and took my son from beside me while thy handmaid slept. So at that time, the mom slept, the maid slept, and the baby was there. I don't know, she's a good mom, but my wife, you walk in the room, and my wife wakes up. I mean, I don't know how you come in and take a baby without a mom waking up. Back then, I guess people slept heavier. I mean, I guess, she got my trait. I mean, I'm probably related to her. I mean, earthquake happened a couple days ago, and I slept through it. Y'all heard about that Saturday? We had an earthquake, right? They said you could feel it. I didn't feel a thing. I slept. It probably rocked me to sleep or something. I don't know. It was supposed to be a 4.1. But she slept. And they said she took the baby, put the other dead baby beside her, right? She said, when I woke up, right, I didn't realize it was my baby. I guess it had to be dark out, because you wake up, I don't know about you. I knew my kids as soon, because have you ever met twins that you really couldn't tell apart, right? At babies, you're like, how do you tell them apart? But the mom can say, that. They just know. Right? You can tell the difference if you're the parent. Right? Sometimes I get Lee and Josh mixed up. They look nothing alike. Right? And I'm like, what's your name? Oh, yeah, Lee. Right? Because I'm not there. Now, don't get me wrong. The parents, how many times your dad call you Josh? Lee? Too many times, right? We all do that. I do that. Matthew, he hates to be called Joey. Right? And I'm like, I'm not. Come on. Right? But I do that myself. We all do it. It's not that we're trying to, but our brains are short. But the mom here says, she took my baby. She put the dead one beside me when I woke up. Like I said, it had to be dark, because she said she woke up, didn't realize it, and the baby was dead. But when she realized it and saw the baby's face, she knew it wasn't her baby. And she's like, this is not my baby. She took my child. And so they asked the other lady to go, well, she goes, no, she's lying. Her baby's dead. This is my baby, right? And being the king, he's got the choice to figure out whose child this is. And he's like, and I guess there's no fathers, because they're both prostitutes. They probably got pregnant doing what their thing. And there's no fathers in the picture. I don't know if they're the king, because they said they're the king's harlot. So I guess they're the king's kid, right? And the king goes, which I guess that'd be gross if it's your own kid. We're going to drop down. It said, 23, and then said the king, the one said, this is my, wait a minute, further down. 24th, and the king said, bring me a sword. And they brought a sword before the king. And the king said, divide the living child in two, and give half to the one and the other, and half to the other. He said, take the kid, cut him in half, give each one a half a kid. All right? I don't know about you. I don't want a half a kid. All right? That's why I always, when society says everybody has an average of 2.5 kids, I'm like, I don't know who gets that half kid. You know, that's weird. But and I know what they're doing is they're dividing it. Right? Some people have 4, some people have 1. You know, it's roughly 2.5. But this king is saying, I'm going to cut this child in half. You're going to get half and half. Well, a good mom is not going to let her kid get hurt. And see, and that's where the craziest thing about this harlot woman, she was sitting there looking at the child, and I believe the wrong mom had him. I think she's got him in her arms holding him. And the king's like, take that baby and now cut it in half. And the mom looks upon that baby and says, you know what? I love you so much, I'm willing to give you up and let you go with her and live a life instead of being killed. And you go, that's a good mom? Yeah. Right? Today's society is, let's kill the babies, let's kill the babies, let's kill the babies. Let's have abortions, let's just kill the babies, let's get rid of the babies. And it just amazes me to me that people are just so willing to get rid of babies and children and don't realize that's killing off our society, right? Because the people you're killing could be the next great president or the great next politician or even the great missionary, you know? I mean, my mom would have aborted me, or pastor's mom would have aborted a pastor, right? I mean, think about the kids and generations and the people, where society would be today. You go, oh, society wouldn't be no different than Pastor Rich. He changed my life. Right? I mean, you don't realize I met him over 20 years ago, and he's looking out for me as an older brother. Where would I be if I didn't know him? I don't know. I probably might still be in Florida working. I don't know where I would be working right now. Probably at Home Depot or something. Right? I don't even know. I mean, because my life has changed so much by knowing him. Right? You ever watch A Wonderful Life, how that changes like that? The things that you change, it would be like that almost. And you don't even know it. Right? Because I would love to be able to go back and watch the world if I wasn't in it one time. Because it would not be, I mean, from 1972, it'd be the same thing. But from the day, people don't realize because like Russ and Nikki, you don't even realize the people that you have talked to, that you have changed their lives by a conversation. And you go, what do you mean? Well, you at a gas station, you say, hey, how you doing? Not much. Watch game last night? Yeah, oh, you watch it. And you talk to him about a football game. But if you didn't talk to him, he got in his car, went down the street, and had an accident and died. But you stopped him and talked to him about a football game. Who knows? How many times have you left the house 5 minutes late because you couldn't find your watch or your wallet? As you're getting up to the intersection, there's a bad accident. And you're like, I could have been there. That could be me. You know, that's what I'm talking about. We don't realize what we do. Every decision we make changes time. If we didn't come to church today, the cars I would have passed, the person that stood behind me in line wouldn't have to wait, the person that would have bought the cake instead of me buying the cake I bought, you know, I mean, the things we change because we're here. And we change, and that's where this mother was like, this kid could be something. And this kid is Solomon, because I believe this is Solomon's mom, right? The harlot, if I read it right. Yes. If she would have killed him, imagine what would have happened. Okay, go ahead and kill him. But she was willing to give him up. Now listen to this. And it said, then spake the woman, the living child was unto the king, for her brow yawned upon her son. She was sad. She looked at that kid and said, you know what? I can't see. And said, oh, my Lord, give her the living child, and no way slay it. But the other said, let it be neither mine or thine, but divided. I don't know any mom that would say kill her kid. right? I mean, don't get me wrong. There is some people out there that lose their mind and kill their kids. I mean, I really think they lose their mind. People say, "Oh, she just had a bad mistake." No, she lost her mind. If I know some of you guys might remember the woman that drove her 2 kids in the car, right, and let them drown, and she actually went up for parole. I think she might even got out of jail now. This is like 30 or 40 years ago, right? But I think she got out of jail because I think she had a 30-year sentence, which was crazy because she could have got the death penalty in North Carolina, because the death penalty in North Carolina is 1, you got to kill more than 2 people, and 2, one of them has to be a minor. So if you kill 100 people in North Carolina, as long as none of them are minor, you don't get the death penalty. All right? Got a card pulled in. I don't know if they're just going through or not, but interesting. Sorry. Hey, just make sure they're pulling in. So, hey, we get visitors. Amen. Maybe they're watching me on YouTube. So, yeah. But I lost my train of thought watching that car. I think they're going through. All right. So this mom does give up the baby. Says give up the baby. You hear it's what the king, and this is the amazement part. The king said, then the king answered and said, give her the living child and no wise slay it. She is the mother thereof. Because that's just like parenting. You can have 2 women standing beside a kid and watch a kid act up. Real quick, you know who the mother is. Right? 9 times, if it's a good mother. Bad mom, then you don't know. Because I don't know about you, I've been at restaurants, and the older I get, right, my nerves don't do too well on kids just screaming bloody murder and everything. Right? Younger guys, you guys are like, oh, that's no big deal because I'm putting up with my kids. Right? But the older you get, you're like, please let that parent hit them, because I'm not wanting to hit them. But you'll see that mom pop that kid, right? And the other lady go, oh, that's not the mom. There's the mom, right? Because you know who's disciplining in the child, right? And that's like this mom. If you got a kid about to step off a cliff, you see who's running towards that cliff to say, that's the mom, right? I tell you what, I can outrun my mom, my wife, probably my mom too, right? Any day of the week. But let one of our kids be in trouble, and I'm going to have a hard time catching her, right? Because that's the way moms are. Moms are like on the ball and protecting the kids. I mean, she's like, you mess with my kids, and I'm going to be there. Because Rich says it a couple of times about Brittany, right? You can say anything you want about Rich. You say something about his kids, right? The mother clause come out. You're coming after me. You ain't coming after my babies. I'm going to protect my babies. Right? And that's a good mom. Right? And that's where a lot of people don't see that. And this mom right there was, I don't want you to hurt my baby. Because you can't do anything about the law. If the law is rescuing your kids, don't go out there and try to fight the law. Talk to them. You're going to try to defend them. And everything like that. There's where a lot of parents make the mistakes. Because like this week, I don't know if y'all heard about that one. A kid went out and was shooting at the cops. The cops killed him. The dad went out and hit an off-duty cop and killed him. And himself, actually, I believe, in the accident. Or did the dad die? The dad didn't die. But it killed off. That had nothing to do with the incident. But if you heard the granddad raised that boy, his son, right. But the dad went wrong with his kid. See, and that's where we mothers will do. If you raise your kids right, you won't have that incident there. You got to raise your kids the way a good mom would. Sometimes it's just protecting them. Sometimes it's loving them. And other times, because if she would have said, no, I don't want you to slay them in half, but I want my child, and she fought it, they might have put that baby to death. She's like, I'm going to let my child go. And a lot of times you got to let your children go to let them survive. A lot of us will smothercate our own children and cause them to lose their lives because we want what we want. And this mother didn't live the greatest life, didn't have money, right? Lived probably under the king's judgment and everything, but she was still a good mom. a lot of us don't understand. We could, as this mom here did, right? She was a good mom, even though she didn't have the best circumstances. We don't have to be a bad parent, a bad mom, a bad dad. The other woman, she lost her child, right? Her first thing was, I'm replacing this child with somebody else. To me, I could just imagine if her child didn't pass away, how bad of a mom she would have been to her kid. If she's willing to steal somebody else's kid, what would she have taught her child? Right? I don't know. Her child ended up in heaven. I don't know if she ever ended up in heaven with him. Way her life went, because you're willing to steal somebody else's kid because yours passed. And the sad thing was, I don't even feel like because they don't say it in the Bible. This is just Brother Joe, that she didn't even mourn for her child. She like, oh, here, I'm going to take yours because I'm going to love this child and don't care about my child. Then when they said, we're going to put your child to death, didn't even stand up and say, oh, no, don't put my child. Yeah, go ahead and kill it, this one too. So I don't have mine, you don't have yours, pretty much. That's kind of mom she was. To me, I was like, wow, can you imagine having a mom like that? Luckily, because at the end, if you read verse 28, it says, and Israel heard of the judgment which the king had judged, and they feared the king, for they saw the wisdom of God was in him to do this judgment. Because you think about it, he was like, I'm going to cut this kid in half. I mean, you go, that's a godly man? Going to kill a baby? But he knew in that judgment the real mom would step up. If somebody that loved that child enough. And here's the thing. Did he know that was the real mom? That could be, but you know what he said? Is that woman's willing to slay that baby and that one's willing to raise it. That's the one that needs to raise it. Because she's willing to let him go and be alive, where the other one said, oh, no, let's kill it. Right? Maybe because it don't say, I know you can read it, and it sounds like it's the one that the baby was stolen from. It was her child, right? But it could have been the other one. But the way the judgment was, the one that's willing to say, that's a mom. Might not be a thing. I had a stepdad. My real mom and my stepdad. There's something to say about step parents. If you have been a step parent to a niece, nephew, cousin, kid, that is something special. They're the moms and dads that go the extra mile. Because there's a country song, and I love the country song. I played it at my dad's funeral, right? I hope I'm half the dad that you didn't have to be. That one just, because them parents that step up to take on children that not of their own are better than me. And you go, why is that? Because I just took care of my own responsibility, right? I feel like if you're a step parent, you have just stepped up twice as hard, because it's coming once in a while. You're not my mom, you're not my dad, or I'm not listening to you. You can't tell me what to do, right? It comes, right? You're going to have that. And some of y'all been through that, right? You've been through the tears. You've been through the prayers for them. And it's hard, right? It's a little bit easier when you're yours, because you're like, I'm going to just put you back where I got you from, I'm going to give you back to the Lord. So that's where, the lady's getting out of her car now. I don't know. I don't know. She might think it's 12 o'clock service. Oh, she might come from that way, thinking 11 o'clock service. Pastor, you're going to have to get up here and preach. So, yeah, she's coming. Because I don't know if I have another sermon left. Oh, no, she's just taking pictures of the church. All right, well, because I'm almost done. Let me see. I might have 6 more minutes in me. So, it's just something where step parents are awesome. Like I said, I love my dad. He was a step parent. Moms, if you're a step parent, I know Sai's not your kid, but you kind of raise them a little bit, and we appreciate Barb. Sometimes it's nieces and nephews, cousins. My sister's raising her grandson. Her daughter died, my niece, in a car accident when she was 21, and she's been raising, I think he was 3 or 4 at the time, and he's like 15, somewhere around there. Right? That's got to be tough too, to take your grandson and raise him. It's almost like her kid, but his mom passed away. It's tough. So you parents that are step parents, I praise you guys. You as regular parents, I'm glad you guys stuck it out and not just gave up the rights. There's some of them out there, because I always look at it this: it takes more than being a parent than just giving birth or just being there at the time of conception. It takes more. A lot of us, even like me, pastor, and some of us that have our own kids, Nikki, all you ones that have your own kids, it takes something special to be more than just having your kids, right? Because when your kid finally calls you dad, mom, stepmom, or some of them don't call you mom or dad as step parents, but they acknowledge that you are that step parent, right? Yeah, she's coming in. You can bring her on in. Oh, she stepped away from the door. You can go out there. She tried to come in. Right? Tell her come on in. I'm almost done. So yeah, it's something different than being here. And that's like this woman here. She was willing to let that baby go. Like I said, I don't know where. I want to say it was definitely her son, because it would be hard to say the other parent, the lady that wasn't her kid, she was ready to give it up. But us as parents got to understand, when the Lord says, hey, I need you to be your kid to be a missionary, or I need your kid to move out of state. If the Lord's telling them to do that, all you can say is, have you prayed about it? Or are you praying about it? Right? Give them the knowledge of God that you trained them up to be, because that's the only thing we can do, is train our kids to be godly people. So when it does come to a time, you have to let them go. You can. Because it's bad to split a kid in half and say, oh yeah, you can go spend your time with your wife and your kids, but I'm going to keep you here half the time with me. Because I'll be honest with you, I rarely see my kids anymore. You go, really? I see them once a week. I used to see them every day. You know why? Because they lived in my house. I come home, they're there. You pretty much see your kids every day almost, in your house. Sometimes you wish they weren't there, but don't get me wrong, you do. Hey, it happens. We all like, man, I want my free time. It's nice having the free time. But when you get my age and they're not there, you do miss it. We had the grandbabies this weekend. I enjoyed that too, right? But I don't get to see them as much as my regular kids, right? And that's where we got to say the discernment is. There's some parents that are there all the time. They don't cut that tie. They don't separate the mother and child. And you can destroy a relationship with your kids by being there too much. And you go, how do I know? The Bible will tell you. If you do what the Bible tells you, you'll know. Right? That's where, if you're a godly father, mother, I know today's Mother's Day. I love our mothers. If you're like this woman, you can look upon that baby and go, I'm not going to split it in half. I'm going to let it live. If you're holding back, not letting your kid live, then you're destroying your child. Right? And like I said, I wanted this to be a little bit different. We could have went into a lot of other mothers, a lot of other fathers, or bad mothers, good mothers. There's a lot of them. But this one just caught my eye, because a good mom will see the discernment of when to let a child go. Guess what? She let it go and she got it right back. A lot of times that we let our kids go, we'll get them back. Here's one that I tell everybody. My daughter was 2 years old. I never whipped her one time. The whole 2 years. She couldn't do anything wrong. She bat them little eyes, and I was like, oh, and give her. But you know what? Every time I walked through the door, she'd go to mom over me. Why? Mom would pop her hand, whoop her butt, and I'm like, I'm the good one. Why do you go to her? When she was 2 years old one day, I don't know what she was doing. She was going to touch something hot, and I popped her hand. And she started tearing up, and I'm like, oh, broke my heart. And she came and gave me a hug. She gave me the hug. Because she could see I was upset that I had to correct her, right? You know, after that, she started doing 50-50. And I said, that's that a child knows what they need. We could be a bad parent by not doing what's right for the child. And a lot of you guys here, I'm just preaching to the choir. Hopefully, one's on Facebook, you'll catch it, or on YouTube, you'll catch it. You can be a bad parent by not disciplining, because the Bible don't say, spare the rod, spoil the child. It actually says, spare the rod, hate the child. So if you're sparing the rod, you're hating the child. It tells you to whip them. Just free information on that one. Sorry about that, but it does. It really does. And I ain't saying beat them to death. Child abuse. Don't anybody say, oh, he's a child abuse. No, I only got a couple of twitches from my mom beating me. It ain't too bad. It only happens once in a while. No, my mom. Remember in the 70s and 80s whippings? If we did that today, it would be child abuse. I tell you, I think we got soft kids today. You guys are lucky. You don't know what a beating is until you go pick your own switch. I'm telling you, today's society is a little soft. Hopefully your mom and dad know how to use a belt, though. Right? It's a good thing to be whooped once in a while. Right? I tell you, I remember my last whipping, and I deserved it too. Right? I deserved a couple after that, but my parents didn't catch me on them incidents. Right? But I'm a better person today from them whippings that I got when I was a kid. Because every one of us, think about the kids that get in the most trouble today. Where's the mom? Where's the dad? What are they doing? They're not a good mom. They're not a good dad. They're not doing what's right for the kid. So today I'm preaching, be a discernment on when to let them go, when to be a parent, when to be the outsider, be a good mom, right, and be a good dad. I'm throwing dads in there too. But today's Mother's Day. We love all our mothers. I hope you guys have the rest of a good day. I think we're going to go eat in a few minutes. I'm going to pray with you guys so we can go eat. Our dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the message. I hope it's just able to touch each one's heart, that we can just do discernment to our kids, that we can raise them in the sight of God, and that we can raise them to love you.